we just saw this amazing trailer by this American-based African animator, and we just had to do an interview with him.
Roye from Unique Studios is his name. Check out the trailer and the interview that follows.
I wasn't born a hero. I had to become one. To protect my people and put an end to the schemes that oppress them. Some ask if I am truly what the people need.
Considering you started out wanting to do a feature length and then a feature length animation, what made you step back and do a comic? A lot of people assume that comic books are a dying breed. What made you take the step back and say, let me do a graphic novel and then do an animation?
Well, again, there are two reasons why I did that. And first of all, like, it's not like the animation is still something that's probably going to happen, you know, and I'm still pursuing that. Like, if a distributor comes to me today and says, hey, you want to produce a movie, I'm not going to say no because I'm doing a graphic novel. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to tie the two of them together, the graphic novel and the animation. You know, so I don't want people to get me wrong. Like, just because I decided to do this as a book first doesn't mean the animation is out of sight. Matter of fact, the book is what I wanted to use to drive the animation. Because I believe that, you know, once it's out there, like I said, I'm not ashamed of my story. I believe in my story. I believe that if you pick up my book and read it, you will understand exactly where I was coming from when I created the hero, and you'll even be more inclined to actually see the animation about that. So the reason why I decided to take a step back and say, let me do it as a book first is, number one, I wanted to create a fan base organically. So I didn't just want to come out and say, hey, this is the biggest thing in Africa, check out this animation. You know, this is the first time we're doing a superhero animation, which is fine, that's okay to do. But since that wasn't going anywhere, I decided, look, let me go to the grassroots. Let me go to the true fans, you know, that are actually going to support this. And I said, let me, and again, before that, this is my first book. Like, I haven't written a comic book before, a graphic novel before, but again, I'm a strong believer in self-education. So that's why it took about a year to educate myself about comic books and graphic novels before I even said I was doing one. You see what I'm saying? So, so in terms of you know, what took me back is that I wanted to build a fan base organically, you know, and actually, you know, superhero, you can't say superhero without comic book really. Like, you really can't say. The biggest superheroes all started from comic books. Now, I'm not saying that a superhero can't start from animation, but usually, even when that happens, they go back and they make comic books from the animation. If you look at The Last Airbender, it was an animation first on Nickelodeon, and then now there's a lot of comic books about that and graphic novels about that. So you really can't say superhero without a graphic novel or a comic book, which is why I decided, look, let me pursue both at the same time.
Okay. Well, so you mentioned earlier how you're a big fan of self-education. I wanted to know, how much time did you spend learning 3D and 2D animation techniques since you majored in computer science? Or did you learn all that while you were actually in college?
Well, the funny thing is that my last year in college, I took a class in animation, and after that, I was just sold on it, you know. But unfortunately, I was about to get my degree, so I wasn't about to go back 4 years and start over again. So when I graduated and I got a job, I started doing that on the side. I started to do small animations on the side. I started to learn. There's a whole bunch of, and that's another thing. I believe that for us that are in this internet age right now, you really don't have an excuse to say, oh, I don't really know how to do something. It's online. Everything is online, and the internet has basically leveled the playing field for everybody. So there's really no excuse for you now to say, okay, I'm trying to learn how to do this, but I can't go to school. No, you can find education online. So I started to learn about animation, learn about different kind of artworks and different kind of things, and then I started to do a lot of freelance. Not just with that, but I did a lot of web design, graphic design, and stuff like that. So, and that's how I personally built myself up, in terms of education.
That's incredible.
Yes.
It actually sounds like a very long journey to get to where we are now.
It is. Trust me, it's been a very long journey. Like, I actually in 2008 was when I first decided I wanted to do like a superhero animation actually.
Wow.
But then I just felt like personally I wasn't ready. Like mentally, I wasn't ready to give what, because it takes a lot to come out with a product like this. Like it's a really, really taxing issue, and so I personally wasn't ready. Matter of fact, I did it's a test animation that I did. It's actually on YouTube right now. It's if you can find
We're
it,
gonna look for that.
although now that I've said that, I really do, because the animation actually sucks. But I mean, that was like 5 years ago, so it's fine. But I attempted to do that, and then because I wasn't really getting feedback, I just gave up. And then after like 4 years in 2012, I decided, look, this has been a dream of yours for the past, since you were born, basically, because that's what you love: superheroes, cartoons, animation, comic books. You can't. There's something that it says that if you have something in you, no matter how much you try to deny it, it's always going to come to the surface. So, I can try and trick myself and say, hey, I have a nice job as a web developer, I enjoy my life, but I'm not really getting fulfilled. So I have to start to see how I can make that transition now to actually doing what I love and actually, making a living doing that. So for me, it's a long journey, but it's something it's a journey that I'm willing to take, because that's where I believe you get true happiness, is when you're chasing your dreams. And it's not necessarily actually achieving the dream, it's like the journey itself. And that's the thing that people miss. They focus so much on the end goal, and then when they don't have the goal, they just give up. But it's actually the journey. It's the journey that, that's where you learn, you have your ups and downs, things go bad, things go well, and, that's how you grow as a person.
Wow. That's incredible.
What would you say has been, if you could pick one moment, has been like the hardest, like, the hardest in this journey, more for Unique than, what was the toughest thing that you had to deal with?
If I had to pick one, it would have to be when that producer made the comment.
Because that was hard. That was just raw. That was cold.
Yeah.
We just thought a hashtag, find that producer.
Right. Because to be honest, let me tell you the truth. Like I respect the guy. Like I respect his opinion because of the amount of work that he's actually worked with, big companies here. Like he's consulted for like Walt Disney and different kind of stuff. So he knows what he's saying. So for I'm not lying to you, for maybe a day or two, I actually believed
it.
And I did. And then I wanted to give up. I was just like, you know what, if he says that, then it's probably right. He has all the experience. What am I really doing here? Let me just go back to my 9 to 5, be comfortable, and just, live a normal life. But I'm just not that kind of person. Like, as much as I tried to believe in him, there was something burning inside me that was saying, look, that's just one person's opinion. Yeah. Put your stuff out there. Let's see what other people say about it. And that's when I created that trailer, the trailer based on the animation. Yeah. And I just said, look, let me put this out there. Let me see what people think. So that's another thing is that I wanted to say is that a lot of times, and this is not just for Africa, it's just human beings in general, because we respect a lot of people, our mentors, and there's nothing wrong with that. But usually, I can't even count the amount of dreams that have, just died based on one person's opinion and someone saying, hey, you can't do this, you're not good enough. And then people believe that, and they just go about their life saying, hey, if you said that, then, that's it. And one thing I always stick to is that I read a story that said that Walt Disney himself, he drew something and gave it to his supervisor to look. And then the supervisor told him that you don't have any creativity. Why are you drawing pictures of flowers with faces on them? Like actually research. This is a true story. Research it. And that's what Walt Disney's supervisor told him. And if he had believed what he said then, we wouldn't have all we had now: Mickey Mouse, Lion King, the different things that Disney has done. So that I always hold on to that. Like, yes, value people's opinion, but at the end of the day, go with your heart.
Hey, spoken from the heart. That's actually quite that's quite profound. Yeah. So you talked about growing your fan base organically, and of course you've been at this for a long time. What are your ideas about converting that following or that audience into maybe crowdfunding for the future if the conventional way of getting investors doesn't work? What are your ideas?
I'm glad that you asked that, because it's almost like you're thinking ahead for me. I'm trying not to give too much away, but you keep on.
All right.
No, but it's fine. Like, personally, look, I'm a very transparent person. I don't like to hide anything that I'm doing. I'm open. I'm like, hey, this is what I am. This is what I'm doing. You know, it's either you get on board with me or, you know, you just stay on the sideline. So honestly, like, I believe so much in this book, and you know, some people might look at it as just blind faith, but I mean, that's just the way I grew up. It's like believe in what you're doing, or else why are you doing it in the first place? So, I believe from the success of this book, if I can get a strong fan base, we can all together kickstart the animation ourselves.
Yeah.
Like that's basically like if no one else is gonna you know believe in us or distribute our movie or try to get us to you know and that's another thing because also and that's I'm very skeptical is even the distribution end, like another reason why it was hard for me to I'm sorry again, that's another like even if it was hard for me to get distributorship is because so there's a certain level of control I need to maintain on this project. Like when you partner with someone, a producer, depending on the contract you have, they actually have final say of what goes on or what goes into the movie. Or let's take this out. I don't like how this person's hair is looking and all.
Yeah.
Like it's very important to me that I keep 100% creative control. And honestly, like. There's, if I find a distributor right now, they might not be interested in that because they're like, okay, hey, we want to put money into it, but we want to put our own ideas into it very well. So for me, finding a distributor partner is very important in terms of, okay, do we actually work together? That's the one thing. But if I can get the funding kick-started and I have control over it, then I can give the fans exactly what it is that I had in my head in the first place without anything changing. So I do believe that if, once the graphic novel is successful, and it gets the commercial and global success, again, that's the important things that we have to always look at when we're talking about, okay, we want to create a hero from Africa and all that kind of stuff. We need to be able to be globally successful. Once we can get some kind of global recognition, then, like you said, put it on Kickstarter. And again, if people believe in it, they will fund it. So,
I have one question. It might put you on the spot, might not. I know it always puts me on the spot, but can you give us 3 artists you think we should be watching from Africa right now? Yeah, I know it's a hectic question. It's a tough question. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say this, right? And it's gonna sound sound crazy. But to be honest with you, the 3 artists that I'm gonna give you are actually the 3 artists that are working on my book right now. To be honest with you, because I've had the most interaction with them, and honestly, they've blown my mind with what they've done so far in terms of excellence. So the first one, his name is Ayodele Elegba.
Wow, we know Ayodele.
The second one is Raphael Kazim. I don't know if you're aware of him too. He's the colorist. And then the third one is Sukomi. The third one is Sukomi, and I can also email you all the names. But those are the 3 people that I'm working with on this project with EXO. So, and to be honest, Ayodele himself, he's been a huge resource for me, to be honest with you. Like, because he also shares my opinions when it comes to, Africa and what we can do on a global level. So that was the first thing that kind of like just gravitated towards him because he kind of like has the same vision for me.
Yeah. That's
so
incredible.
Those are the 3 people to watch out for. Please.
Oh, we're watching Ayodele closely.
We see him a lot, but we definitely have to look up for the other guys as well. Now we know you've got to get back to business. This is like a 1 hour lunch break. So
this is my lunch break.
So we're not gonna keep you any longer.
Comexposed, check them out. Watch the videos. Check out the website. Follow them on Twitter, and also follow me on Twitter. Unique Studios. That's spelled YOUNEEKS Studios. You can also sign up on uniquestudios.com to follow me and also get exclusive artwork. Like if you sign up, I always send progress reports to the people that regularly follow me. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Please like my fan page because that helps a lot. And keep supporting Africa. keep supporting diversity, keep supporting diverse superheroes, and watch out for EXO coming out summer 2015.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
It's been awesome having you on the show.
Definitely. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. And it's because of people like you that, we can be a success. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to the fans. And please supporting us. And not only us, support other African artists, other African writers, other African products. Because it's not only one person that's going to change it. It's all of us.
True.
Awesome.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Well said. Well said.
True.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Roy. It's been awesome. We look forward to another interview after the movie is released.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right, cool. Later.
All right, guys.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Yep.
My mind is officially blown. I mean,
That marks the end of the interview, but he answered some really good questions there.
yeah, if you want to check out parts 1 and 2, make sure to look at one of the videos below and make sure to check out some of our other Comexposed stuff.
And remember, subscribe to this channel.